The Los Angeles Times is committed to reviewing new theatrical film releases during the COVID-19 pandemic. Because moviegoing carries inherent risks during this time, we remind readers to follow health and safety guidelines as outlined by the CDC and local health officials. We will continue to note the various ways readers can see each new film, including drive-in theaters in the Southland and VOD, streaming options when available. Much like the teenage characters in a coming-of-age film, the new Mutants spends most of its runtime trying to figure out its place in the world. It also just needs to find people, or an audience, who will accept it for what it is. It's impossible to ignore the long journey this lingering loose end from 20th Century Fox's X-Men franchise took to finally getting released. After the first teaser was dropped in October 2017 announcing April 13, 2018, as the release date, the Josh Boone-helmed The New Mutants was delayed before ultimately hitting whatever theaters that are actually open right now. Some of these snags were beyond its control: Disney's acquisition of Fox and a pandemic that has completely changed how we go about our everyday lives. But there were also rumors about reshoots, which were eventually debunked, and that studio executives were unhappy or unimpressed with whatever version of the film they had seen. All that is to say, expectations were tempered for the socially distant, drive-in showing of The New Mutants, Disney held at the Rose Bowl last night. The film was not formally screened for press ahead of release, which is usually another ominous sign of little faith from the studio releasing it. It turns out that wasn't a bad thing. The film opens with a frantic scene involving Dani Moonstone, played by actress Blu Hunt, being awoken by her father Adam Beach to try to escape an unspecified catastrophe wreaking havoc on her Native American community. When she wakes up handcuffed to a hospital bed, it is revealed that she is the sole survivor from whatever happened at her reservation. Dani, the newest patient at a facility led by Dr. Reyes Alice Braga, has been institutionalized to learn to control her emerging powers. Also learning to deal with being new mutants are fellow teens Rahne Sinclair, Maisie Williams, who tries to reconcile her faith with multiple aspects of her identity, Illyana Rasputin, Anya Taylor-Joy, a fragile bully with an imaginary companion, Sam Guthrie, Charlie Heaton, who actually believes he is a danger to others, and Roberto da Costa, Henry Zaga, who plays up his arrogance and privilege. Like Dani, all of the teens are coping with grief and trauma associated with their superpowers. But anybody familiar with the comic book characters will quickly see through the mystery of Dani's powers and the reason behind the scary happenings affecting the teens.